Is the reading of the 26 Gene Keys, Sacred Tricksters, City Invisibility, Gift, Artfulness, Shadow, Pride. The 26th City, Invisibility, the Great Cinnabar Field. There is a saying on the mystical path, which more or less translates as, in order to transcend the ego, one must first have an ego worth giving up. This delightful statement beautifully encapsulates the teaching of this entire 26 Gene Key. In the original Chinese I Ching, the name of this hexagram was the taming power of the great, which at the gift level would well refer to the process of taming one's ego. When the ego runs wild in our lives, as it does at the lower frequencies, it causes havoc. As you become aware of your own ego, it releases its hold on you, and you can learn to play with it. However, there exists an even higher mutation waiting to occur within your DNA, one in which this taming the power of the great refers to a magical process that only occurs through the 26th city. As you open your heart to life more and more, your thymus gland triggers a vibration of such refined intensity that it spontaneously ignites the higher functioning of the pineal gland. As most esoteric systems testify, the pineal gland opens up a chemical pathway within your brain that allows you to access cosmic consciousness. In this way, we may understand the taming the power of the great to refer to the meeting of the macrocosm and the microcosm deep within your physical body. The 26th city of invisibility is a very unusual manifestation of the higher states of consciousness. Invisibility at this level can mean many different things. The ancient Chinese Taoists have another special name for this 26th gene key, referring to it as the Great Cinnabar Field. For the Taoists, cinnabar was a substance that represented the miracle MERCURIA aspect in alchemy, miracle. MERCURIA aspect in alchemy. The qualities of mercury or quicksilver are the qualities of the 26th city. In this respect, mercury represents the ability to become one with your environment, to camouflage yourself so as to appear invisible. This is the difference between the embodiment of my will and thy will, which was mentioned earlier. This 26th city dissolves all sense of individual will. Everything in the cosmos is driven by a single turbine and surrenders to this impulse, renders the individual ego invisible, not just your own ego, but everyone else's egos as well. The whole game just falls away. One manifesting in the city stands nowhere. These beings cannot be pinned down to a single concept. Whenever you look, they are there, and whenever you try to pin them down, they are gone. This is the meaning of invisibility in this context. It refers to one who has become one with existence. The Great Cinnabar Field is the energetic grid that links all aspects of existence. It is the quantum motion of fluctuating interchangeable energy and matter, and it is the play of the waves of existence upon this ocean. One who becomes the master of this ocean is one who can move within the grid without separate existence, one in whom God is at play. Play is a large part of the 26th city. We human beings have always sensed the secrets of the 64 cities, but we have rarely considered such divine manifestations to be concealed within our own genetic code. Throughout human history, the cities have been anthropomorphized and projected outside our bodies into the figures of gods, archetypes, and mythologies. The gods of the 26th gene key are the trickster gods, the Nordic Loki, the American Indian coyote, or the Hindu monkey god. Hanuman, Hunuman, Hanuman. And these are the great archetypes of shapeshifting. The Celtic figure of Merlin is another of the archetypes of invisibility, and the 26th city certainly shares his wizard-like playful qualities. Through these archetypes, the divine is seen as being playful and sometimes mischievous. Those who manifest the city teach humanity to take life less seriously. They trick us into great truths. The 26th gene key, as we have seen, carries the quality of ego within it and depth at marketing. At the citic level, these gifts are played with for the sole purpose of divine fun. These people will use whatever faculties they possess to transmit their sense of love for creation. From their vast understanding of the language of the universal quantum field, they may create extremely complex teachings just to lure the mind through its addiction to finding answers. Whatever tricks, shortcuts, or wormholes they use to draw you in, they do so to draw your attention to a higher truth, that nothing really matters. Nothing can alter consciousness. To truly integrate this simple truth is to realize that all human life is essentially meaningless, but this meaningless does not detract from the wonder of existence. Rather, it enhances the beauty around us, above us. It leaves us alive to play. To dance with the 26th city is to let go of all agendas. Such people are invisible in a way that they most cannot understand. They are invisible because they do not care what others project on them. They do not seek to enlighten anyone. They do not really want to influence anyone at all. They truly have no agenda. They simply are here as loose cogs within the machinery of existence. They love to defy the laws that we humans cling to. They are the tricksters who love to twist and turn in the currents of existence for no other reason than they can. No other reason than that they can. Ironically, such people with no agenda have often left the greatest mark on history of our consciousness because we cannot pin them down, because we cannot understand them with our minds. We either have to reject them or laugh with them. Laughter is a true legacy of the 26th city. Their laughter peals like an endless string of bells throughout the great cinnabar field of our existence. The 26th gift, the gift of artfulness, heart marketing. When you can get to the gift level of the 26 gene key, you learn a very great secret in life. You learn the difference between will and intention. At the lower frequency, the 26 shadow leads you to believe that you must exert huge willpower to attain your dreams in life. The problem here is that at the shadow frequency, you cannot possibly know what your dreams really are. Inside the coils of your DNA, your higher purpose lies concealed. You cannot force that purpose out into the world by sheer force of will. Your higher purpose can only manifest when you surrender your individual will to nature as a whole. This process of surrender begins with the understanding that your higher purpose is something you must tune into rather than impose upon the world. When you first come into contact with your higher purpose in life, you must most likely experience it inside as a subtle intention. The more you listen inwardly, the more deeply you will realize that this intention lies behind everything you do and say in life. Your attitude about this intention determines the success of its manifestation in the world. At the shadow frequency, you respond to this intention through your pride and thus distort its manifestation by trying to preempt and force it. At the gift frequency, your attitude invites a higher wave band of light into your DNA. This more refined frequency catalysts new microprocesses inside your body. For one thing, your immune system becomes stronger and your general level of health improves considerably. When the 26th gift is activated, your thymus gland engages at a higher level, and some curious things occur throughout your being. The first thing you may notice is that you begin to physically and emotionally. The first thing you may notice is that your being. Say that again. The first thing you may notice is that you begin to feel physically and emotionally warmer on the inside. The higher functioning of the thymus gland releases a soft vibration through your chest area that brings with it a wonderful feeling of open-heartedness and warmth. You may well wonder what it is that you are doing to activate these higher frequencies inside your body, and the answer is simple. You are listening to your intuition. You are listening to your higher purpose inside of you. Simply by listening in this way, without needing to do anything, you begin to absorb a higher frequency of light. Over time, prolonged attunement to these frequencies will result in a frame shift mutation within your DNA. The spontaneous change completely reorganizes the way in which your genetic code is translated, and another hidden code reveals itself for the first time in your life. It is a hidden code that corresponds to your higher purpose. Once you have been unlocked, your life will change irreversibly. Say that again. Once it has been unlocked, your life will change irreversibly. The 26th gift celebrates your ego without self-judgment and in full awareness. When this gift awakens, you realize that there is absolutely nothing wrong with pride. Pride is simply a low-frequency word for the same energy that can be called artfulness. When you learn how to use pride creatively, it becomes something powerful and even beautiful. The 26th gift loves attention. It is designed to draw attention. This gift is about the love of selling something to someone, whether it be a product, yourself, or the truth. The 26th gift represents the love of marketing or dressing something up so that others will buy it. In order to sell a product or a truth, you have to put yourself in the limelight. You have to embrace the energy of pride and ego that lies within all humans and use it in the service of your higher purpose. The 26th gift includes natural-born shrewdness. Through this gift, you can use the power of your ego to deliver your message. To do so, you must fully embrace it. We have seen that ego has a negative connotation in many spiritual circles, where it is often seen as something to be conquered or transcended. Actually, nothing can be transcended through conquest. Only through absorption, acceptance, and even enjoyment can the ego be transcended. This is the gift of enjoying your ego. Through the gift of artfulness, your ego actually becomes an art form. Out of this gift emerges the ability to manipulate racial memory. In other words, you instinctively know how to speak the exact language of the person before you. This ability to manipulate your audience can be devastating at lower frequencies since it's rooted in fear and sells itself through fear. But at the higher frequencies, freed from fear, the 26th gift sells itself through love. This is heart marketing. This word manipulation is another bête noire in the spiritual domain. However, as long as manipulation is open and honest, it can be a beautiful thing. Art is a subtle form of manipulation, as is music. Human beings can be moved from lower frequencies to higher frequencies through manipulation. And this is where the 26th gift excels. It lets you know you're being manipulated so that you can give in and allow yourself to be swept away or reject what is being offered. It is the game of the 26th gift. Through this gift, you manipulate your own ego in order to manipulate someone else's ego. The difference between the frequency of the shadow and the gift is that you are operating from the 26th shadow. You are effectively consumed by your own ego and its ferocious need to feed off of success, recognition, and dominance. When you are manifesting the 26th gift, you are not identified with your own ego. You're simply something you use, like a costume you put on before a show. The 26th shadow, pride, wielding the will. Deep within the substructure of your physical body lies a set of 4 chemical codes whose ultimate role is to determine how your body captures, stores, and transmutes light waves into energy. This chemical family, which includes 5, 9, 11, and 26, is collectively known as the ring of light, and in genetics, it's code for the amino acid threonine. Depending on the frequency of light you allow it to enter your DNA, different biochemical processes are initiated, affected, and or prevented inside your body by means of these codes. It is already well known scientifically how the ultraviolet frequencies within sunlight catalyst your body to produce vitamin D, a vital component to your physical health. Light contains many such catalytic codes. Light contains many such catalytic codes within its spectrum that determines not just physical health, but also emotional and mental and ultimately spiritual well-being. The central message of the Gene Key revelation concerns the power that you as a human being wield to consciously and unconsciously rise or lower the frequency of light entering your body, thereby altering your reality through the medium of your DNA. At the lower frequencies, those frequencies governed by fear, your DNA relays instructions throughout your body that are based upon individual survival. This is very narrow set of parameters is the primary paradigm ruling our planet today. The 26 gene key is unique within the threonine group because it has to do with utilizing light waves via the medium of individual will. In other words, through your willpower, you can bend light and turn it to your advantage. This gene key, therefore, has a great deal to do with the correct and harmonious use of will. There's a huge conditioning field on this planet telling you that nothing will ever come to you in life unless you reach out and grab it. At the shadow frequency, you allow your unconscious fear to make you distrust the natural and easy flow of life. Out of this fear, you try to control life by pitting your individual will against the whole, and so the 26th shadow of pride begins to rule your life. The power of will is actually a magical power. It is quite literally your ability to harness the power of light and project it through your body as action, thoughts, and words. Is the key to manifesting your dreams on the material plane. If you have enough willpower, you can achieve almost anything. This is the language of the 26th shadow, and it is important to remember that there is nothing wrong with this belief. It is a vital stepping stone to a far higher frequency. However, there are 2 types of will. There is your will, which as we will see is an illusion, and there is thy will, which we will look at when we examine the higher frequencies of the 26 gene key. Your will is a foundation of human pride. It is a belief that you, as an individual, can control the forces of nature and come out on top. Nowhere in our society is the shadow of willful pride more dominant than in the sphere of business. All modern business is built on this rationale of the individual willpower. If you are driven by the 26th shadow, then you, like many others, use your willpower for the sake of personal gain and recognition. In business, this means that you climb to the top. You must consciously or unconscious that in business, this means that to climb to the top, you must consciously or unconsciously put others down or push others down. The word most commonly used to describe the energy and effect of the 26th shadow is the word ego. In spiritual circles, the ego is widely regarded as the arch enemy of the higher self. But when we come to explore it through the 26th gift, we will learn that it has a higher purpose. When you allow yourself to be governed by fear, you are giving instructions to your DNA to try to establish and maintain control over others and your environment by means of your ego. I'll say that again. When you allow yourself to be governed by fear, you are giving instructions to your DNA to try to establish and maintain control over others or your environment by means of your ego. In doing so, you effectively cut yourself off from those others as well as from your environment. At the shadow frequency, this is the only way you can see to create success and security for yourself in your life. So the 26 gene key tells you to get on the ladder of competitiveness, just like everyone else around you. In the modern world, hierarchy, competitiveness, and ego are considered normal and even healthy. Unfortunately, the current definition of health on this planet is based on a very narrow set of criteria. Real health is only found when your inner being is completely at ease with life's inherent uncertainty. The 26th gene key has a strong link to the function of the thymus gland, which is vital to your immune system. Societal conditioning tells you that if you really want something badly enough, you make it happen. If you base your life on this premise, the lower frequencies of the 26th shadow will gradually grind down your immune response, leading you to increased stress and premature aging, not to mention a host of potential problems or diseases associated with the weakening of your immune system. If you try to force life to follow your will, you may well succeed in achieving your goals, but at what cost? By moving against nature, you deny yourself true happiness and replace it with the addiction to stress. You can identify the 26th shadow in a person because they simply cannot relax for even a single moment. If, however, you look deeply enough into the possibilities lying dormant within your DNA, you will find that the other models of success and security exist, models that most people on this planet can scarcely entertain as realistic, so distant that they seem so distant. Say that again. Models that most people on this planet can scarcely entertain as realistic, so distant they seem from our modern reality. These higher models are waiting to be activated inside your DNA by the higher frequencies within the light spectrum. As we shall see at these higher frequencies, the 26 gene key reveals many hidden pathways within the quantum web that connects all beings through space and time. Within the ring of light, the 5th gene key allows you to synchronize your individual biorhythm into the wider cosmic pattern or grid, but is the 26 gene key that finds all the shortcuts through the matrix. Such shortcuts or wormholes allow human beings operating at higher frequencies to break the normal laws of the material plane. However, at the shadow frequency, none of those shortcuts are available to you, and your only resource is to use brute force will to get what you want. The philosophy of the 26th shadow is based on every man for himself, and in such a system, someone always loses. We can also see this reflected in the 45th gene key of dominance, which is the programming partner of the 26th gene key. As we have seen, the 26th shadow is about ego and pride. One of the underlying fears of the shadow is being perceived as powerless. It has much to do with projecting an image of success and confidence. The activation of this gene key at its lower frequency leaves you craving security in your identity, and your natural reaction is to this discomfort will be to seek that security by setting yourself above others through an act of will. Even deeper lies the core human fear of non-existence. In a great cosmic irony, the more solidly you become attached to a powerful sense of ego and identity in the world, the more profoundly this fear affects and undermines you. You look back on your life and consider how many people you must have subdued to get where you are now. The deep sadness of all is that this 26 gene key contains such effortless magic, but it is effectively negated by the deep-seated and false belief that you cannot get anywhere in life except by sheer force of will. The repressive nature is manipulative. The 26th shadow can be really sneaky. When pride manifests through a repressive human nature, it can become manipulation, but not in the obvious way. This is covert manipulation. These people manipulate others by putting them down or using guilt and shame as subtle weapons. Often these patterns are acted out unconsciously, which means that such people rarely feel accountable for their actions or the effects that they have on others. The 26th shadow uses its natural cunning to make others feel bad or inferior. Behavior patterns rooted in fear. Pride that is rooted in fear always leads to manipulation. It is a simple and lethal equation. Reactive nature, boastful. The more upfront version of pride is boastful. This is the pride that we all know so well as ego. All lower frequencies are inherently isolating. To boast is to try and draw attention to oneself, to render oneself more visible. When someone is boastful, they do not realize that their acts or words have the reverse effect of their intention. There are many ways of boasting, both conscious and unconscious. One of the most obvious is seen in displays of personal wealth, power, and prosperity, or property. While the higher frequencies of the 26 gene key naturally draw positive recognition, the 26 shadow and all its displays draw jealousy, resentment, or at worst, inspire greed. These people suppress great anger, and when it inevitably explodes, it manifests as the ugliest form of pride and creates a strong repulsion in others. That is the reading of the 26th gene key.